myself and Willie Frazier all collided. We all got to the ball at the same time, kind of like what just happened to Tyreek Hill and Braylon. And so naturally, because I was the rookie, I was the one that got blamed for it. And anyway, two plays later, I get a forearm to the chin, and don't know what it was about or whatever. So I'm in the huddle, and I'm bent over, and Will Lanier yells, "Kid, get out of here!" I go, "No," I said, "I'm fine." He goes, "No, get out of here. You're bleeding." And my whole chin strap, it hadn't started, but it was, all full of blood, and I got 8 stitches in my chin the very first practice. So I said, "Boy, this might be a little tougher than I thought." So, but anyway.
But you made the team. You ended up being the Rookie of the Year for the Chiefs that year. Talk about being a kick returner. That would be your real trade, and as a National Football League player, what are some of the tricks of the trade for that?
And that's it, Danny. They ever since I was in high school, when I was we had senior running backs, and I didn't get a chance to play. The only way I could get on the field was to return punts and kickoffs. When I went to college, the same thing happened. And it was just something that, it was a way to get me on the field. And then when I got to the pros, Podolak had that big game
right.
against Miami, I believe, 300, plus yards or whatever. So they were looking to make him the full-time running back. And fortunately for me, in the opening of Arrowhead Stadium against the Cardinals, I run a punt back for 80-some yards. And it was a big bang-bang play and whatever. And I think that's probably what made me the team. That I was the guy they were looking for to take the pressure off of Podolak.
You were surrounded by basically Hall of Fame players on that team. That would, you wouldn't be there as they actually grew older and sort of the team descended. But what was that like, and how did they treat you?
Once you made the team, you were just like one of the guys. And I think a lot of it had to do with that first practice. When
right.
I told you when I split open my chin, they, it was a cheap shot and whatever. And they ribbed Willie for a long time. And then I think the fact that the way I acted to it or reacted to it, got a lot of respect from all those guys. And, I didn't have a lustrous career like a lot of the guys. To play 7 years was in itself, pretty remarkable. But the thing I take out of it is, I'm still friends with these guys today. Dawson, Lanier, Stenerud, Bobby Bell, I talk to probably a couple times a week. So that's the neat thing about it. Even when I went to Philadelphia, that's my hometown.
Right.
Played 4 years there. The Ron Jaworski, actually Roman Gabriel was our first quarterback there
right.
the first couple of years. And so that's the thing you take away from pro football are the relationships. I know you hear a lot of guys talk about, what do you miss the most? And they say the locker room, the camaraderie. It's the truth.
Right.
You just don't run across those kind of guys in the real world.
So how much of a thrill was it for you to play most of your career, or the longest stint of your career, in your hometown?
It was pretty good. I probably didn't take advantage of it as much as I probably should have. But to have all my, sisters and brothers, come to the games, and, people that I knew all through high school, and even my college buddies going to Maryland, it was only, roughly 100 miles away from Philly. So they came up a bunch of times too. So it really was, I just wish we could have been more successful. I left there in 77. And once Vermeil and Peterson got there, took them 3 or 4 years, and I believe they went to the '80 Super Bowl.
Right.
It was, you want to say you were part of the groundwork to get the Eagles back to where they needed to be. And so it was a good experience. It really was.
You must have felt like you just barely missed the time. You came to the Chiefs right after they were a championship team, and then you came to the Eagles right before they became a Super Bowl team, right?
Yeah, the joke was you get rid of Marshall, you go to the Super Bowl. So, the timing's everything, Danny. And in fact, when I came back here in 78, I tore my knee up in the second game against Houston. And so I got released after 3 or 4 games, and I played the final year there with the Los Angeles Rams. And we got to the NFC Championship game against the Cowboys, and the Cowboys went on to the Super Bowl and stuff. So that was 78, and they invited me back to camp in 79. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to start living out of a suitcase, started having my kids, and Didn't go back. Well, it's 1979, the Rams went to the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, like I told you, timing's everything, and it just didn't work out.
Well, obviously, family meant a lot to you. Talk about how you met your wife.
Yeah, they met me. My wife's a Kansas City girl. She was born and raised in here. Went to an all-girls school. It was called Glennon. It was in the northeast part of town. It's not even in existence anymore. But one of the local establishments we used to go to all the time was a place called Walter Mitty's over on Main Street. And that's actually where I met her, and we started dating. And I had to go back to school to get my degree after my rookie year, and went back in 73 to get my degree. And when I came back, we started dating more. And in 74, we got married. 45 years later, we're still with the same woman. I got really, really lucky. She is definitely a gift, and we've done real well.
And so you sort of decided to end your football career as then, and family was part of it, and probably a part of that is the fact that you weren't getting rich playing NFL football at that point.
No, not at all. In fact, back in those days, you had to have two jobs if you were trying to live a halfway decent life. And I had gone to school. I was in labor law, and at that time, again, not having a mentor or somebody to guide you along. Agents weren't real big back then. But had I stuck with it a little bit more, somebody would have, taught me the ropes or led me in the right direction. Maybe I could have something I could have done, back in those days. But I was looking around, and I found a store, a small neighborhood grocery store. Got involved in that, bought that, and then at least it gave me the opportunity to have a job in the off season. And 40 years later, I still had it and sold it. In 2016, and so it worked out the right way. It's not what I wanted to do, but everybody knows, as you get older and you're starting to raise your family, I wasn't quite ready to try to make a jump to get better. I was making a good living, I was supporting my family, and I didn't want to ruin that.
More of Danny's Reasonably Irreverent podcast after this.
Looking for a truly unique escape from your normal entertainment or corporate team-building regimen? Stay tuned for an exclusive offer only for Reasonably Irreverent listeners. I'm excited to tell you about an extraordinary destination, the Exit Room, located in the heart of beautiful downtown Lee Summit. The Exit Room is a distinctive entertainment option that offers a cool alternative to the normal couples night out, family get-togethers, and corporate team-building events. The Exit Room is a one-of-a-kind boutique escape room catering to special occasions and corporate team-building events and is unmatched in the Kansas City metro. With 5 individually designed and varied escape room adventures, your party or employees can unplug from their electronic world, interact with one another, match wits, and ultimately escape the humdrum of the ordinary. The Exit Room adventures cross decades and centuries and create fascinating fun. I know the owners well. They are local folks, their staff is warm and friendly, their lobby is inviting and beautiful, and their adventures are award-winning. Check online. There are over 1,000 reviews, and note that they are a rare 5-star ranked business. Visit their website and Facebook page, and any of my listeners who books online at theexitroomkc.com using the promo code ClinkScale19 gets 10% off any ticket purchase. The Exit Room in Lee Summit. Unplug, interact, and escape.
Before you spend your time and money going after an MBA, ask yourself why. Is it so you can tell people you got your MBA? So you can add a line to your CV? So you can call it a CV instead of a resume? Truth is, any MBA will do that. On the other hand, if your goal is to learn how to successfully manage and grow a business with real-world insights from experienced professionals, well, consider getting your MBA from Park University. Our low student-to-teacher ratio gives you personalized attention, and our face-to-face and online classes offered in 8-week terms are designed with working professionals like you in mind. No wonder the Kansas City Business Journal ranks Park University as the top MBA program in the area. Classes begin June 10th at all 4 KC area locations: Parkville, Downtown, Independence, and Lenexa. Visit park.edu to get started.
I was duped, and I recommend you be next. For better or worse, the ultra-realistic impression of me sits now in my wife's office to spook her on a daily basis. So what is Doob? D-O-O-B. It's the keepsake of a lifetime, a 3D-generated, incredibly lifelike figurine. 66 cameras take an image at exactly the same moment in any pose, and state-of-the-art 3D technology transforms that into exact replicas of you, anyone you know or love, a pet, whomever is close to your heart. Create lifetime memories with a Doob. Visit their Facebook page at Doob 3D Kansas City, or better yet, see their incredible creations. Visit their location down on the plaza in the heart of it at 231 West 47th Street in KC Mo. Doob, be next. Get a refreshing change of your expectations of a sports bar and restaurant at the 23rd Street Brewery in Lawrence. Matt Llewellyn's welcoming spot at Clinton Parkway in Cassold covers all the bases, like their own handcrafted beers and all the televisions you need for great sports viewing, but it's the large, varied, and delicious menu that stands apart. From a favorite of mine like the awesome ahi tuna appetizer to great sandwiches, outstanding pizza, and truly fantastic entrees, the 23rd Street Brewery has it all. Matt and his friendly staff make it that much more enjoyable. Food until 10, fun until late. The 23rd Street Brewery is a can't-miss stop when you are in Lawrence. Larry Marshall is our guest. He's a longtime Kansas City Chiefs ambassador and almost a Super Bowl performer on multiple occasions. So talk about the transition from being an athlete to just living a normal life. You just mentioned that you don't meet the kind of people that you meet in professional football in everyday life. Is that part of sort of the transition, and how difficult was the transition out of sports that had been so much a part of your life all along into just the regular life of a regular citizen?
Well, it's probably a two-part answer for me, Danny. The group of guys that I met when I first got here, in fact, we're still friends today, 40, 50 years later. They were all small college athletes, Pittsburgh State, Washburn, those types of schools, Emporia State. And for some reason, we just clicked. And, I said we remained friends as till today. The second part of being that, I prepared myself, didn't think I was going to play 7 years. So in buying the store, I did have an avenue to go to try to learn, and that's basically what I did. I had the opportunity to try to buy, bigger stores, and like I said, I just wasn't ready to make the change to go bigger. And in fact, one of my buddies is my attorney, and he goes, "Larry, do you understand this is 7 days a week, 12, 14 hours a day?" And he knew how close I was to my kids, and so I had it all done. I had the money, the financing done. Went to the, this was on a Friday, went to the owner of the store, and we secured everything, dotted the I's, crossed the T's. And I talked to Bobby on Sunday, and he said, "Are you sure you want to make this decision?" And Monday morning, I called the banker, called the owner, and I said, "Guys," I said, "I appreciate all your time and effort, but I said, this isn't for me right now." And so I never did make the change. So I think it worked out in the long run better for me. My son played football at Rockhurst, and it was only about 15 minutes from my store, and I literally almost never missed a practice. So it was, something I enjoyed, and I don't regret it at all.
What was the other enterprise that you were thinking about getting?
It was just
into?
a bigger grocery store.
Just a bigger grocery store.
Yeah, just a bigger store. We were a small neighborhood deal, and I don't know if I was really ready to make the jump to the bigger stores, and so anyway, so it didn't work out.
You mentioned your wife, and you've had a long and obviously satisfying marriage. You smile on your face when you talk about it. How quickly did your children come along?
We got married in 74. My daughter Lee came 76. Larry was born in 80. So, and what's even cool about that, watching them grow, and they both Missouri graduates, both went to Columbia, and the thing that's cool now is the fact that they're having kids. Lee's got a daughter that'll turn 8 here in December, and then Larry's got a boy and a girl. They're 4 and 2, and so now Virginia and I are built-in babysitters. But it's really, for those that are out there in the world, you know what it's like when you see, your babies having babies. It's a pretty neat deal.
You mentioned not missing a practice of your son playing football. What was it like watching him play the game, and what do you think the pressures were maybe on him being the son of a professional football player?
I tried to, not that it was, any, bright ideas that I told him, but he loved playing the game. The fact that the